Hello and welcome everyone. I am the Distant Dream CJ Metal, and today I'm showing you a lucid vision of Monotony Fields by Shape of Despair. Released in 2015 from the country of Finns, this funeral doom album develops an image of grief and sorrow, like your face has collapsed into your tear-filled hands. The band achieves this by using a plethora of instruments and vocal styles. Besides growls, bass, guitar, and drums, the band also has the additional instruments such as piano, violin, synth, clean guitar, angelic and clean female vocals, and clean male vocals as well. All these things are brought together to create this atmosphere of just pure depression and grief and sorrow, and I could just go on. As I've mentioned before in another video I made about Funeral Doom tends to be quite progressive in nature, especially later albums like this one. If you were to go back to the earlier Funeral Doom albums, they aren't very progressive. In fact, they're kind of the opposite. They're more straightforward in their approach. However, when your music is so slow, you gotta keep people interested. And I think the band here did a great job of keeping the music moving along while also maintaining that atmosphere I mentioned before. Now, with that being said, it is extremely difficult to break down Funeral Doom albums, and I'll tell you why. The whole point of Funeral Doom is that it is a genre that is meant to be experienced, not necessarily broken down into pieces. Because no matter what anyone says about a Funeral Doom album, it will never do it justice because, as mentioned before, this is more about experiencing the music and let yourself being submerged in the music that the band has created. However, I am actually able to single out a track on here called Distant Dream of Life. Now, while the rest of this album is Funeral Doom, this track is closer to atmospheric doom metal. The whole song is sung in cleans, and it's not as heavy as the rest of the Funeral Doom. Now, normally I would criticize a track like this because it doesn't really fit in with the overall album. However, since the band did incorporate cleans into tracks before this one, it doesn't come that as a big surprise, and therefore it doesn't necessarily feel too out of place. Overall, I found this to be a great Funeral Doom album, and I would recommend you go listening to it and experiencing it for yourself. It is quite long at over an hour. However, I do think it is worth each minute, especially if you like a lot of atmosphere. Then I really suggest you giving this album a listen. One last thing I wanted to point out was the fact that you can tell that the non-metal instruments are digital and not real. They obviously don't sound real. I mean, I wouldn't say it takes away from the album, but it is just something I noticed and probably something that everyone else will notice as well. Anyways, that's all I got today for this review. Thank you everyone for listening. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and make sure you tell a friend to do the same. And of course, as always, I will see you at the next review.